So within the package, you're gonna get 3 plates, which they look like this. That's 2 of them, and 1 of them we already put it onto the rack already. So you want to position out. In this case, this is the 144 Strata rack, which you want to position out the first one on the second crossbar there, second location for the crossbar. The middle one, which uses 4-hole to locate for fastening, for attaching, and this plate needs to be in between the 2 crossbar where it joins. And then the third plate, which goes on the second last area, the second last crossbar position. So as you can see, these patterns actually matches the 3-hole patterns. So all you have to do is use the supplied hardware to attach this at that location, which is the second last location, and the second first location, and in the dead center location. What we're gonna use is the MA30. These are countersinked bolts that goes in here. And we're gonna use a fastener on the back if you don't have a crossbar, but if you do have a crossbar in this case, we're just gonna screw directly into the crossbar. Okay, so now we're gonna do that. First, just hand tie the screws into the crossbar itself, and then use your hand to tighten it completely. So this is what it looks like when it's finished with all 3 adapters attached to the roof rack itself. It looks pretty good, and the countersink works great. Where the next step, we're going to attach the Fiamma silver plates onto these 3 locations. So the next step is to attach the Fiamma plate onto our bracket. This is what our bracket looks like. Yours might vary in color. I know some are silver. Those 2 bulbs are also provided by Fiamma. So we just use the factory Fiamma plate with the factory Fiamma bolts, and then we just attach them to our adapters. Okay, so at this step, we're just gonna go ahead and put the awning onto the adapter that we just put on there, which is the Fiamma adapter, and make sure the adapter is within the groove of the awning itself, so it doesn't fall on you. And at this point, it's always a good idea to shift forward a little bit or back a little bit, whatever position that you like this awning to be. Make sure that, in this case, you can see Tony's is stepping back, so I can center it for him. After that, it's always a good idea to have somebody goes onto the roof of the van, and just to hold the awning in place by hand. Tony, in this case, is going to open up the awning just a little teeny tiny bit so he has access to the bottom of the awning. Now the Fiamma plates is going to have 3 holes on the bottom of the awning. Okay, that you will have to put in a screw which is supplied by Fiamma into those holes. Okay, so he's going to get a punch and he's going to start marking those locations. All 3 of them. 1 in the middle, and 1 in the front, and 1 in the back. Now the position of the holes need to be pretty precise, because after this step, as you're gonna see that we're gonna take the awning back down, and then drill through the awning itself. So the position of these holes need to be lined up when we put the awning back on there. Okay, so once we mark all the holes, Tony is going to go up, and we're going to remove the awning back down. So we want to drill, first of all, don't drill too deep because there's actually fabric inside and all that stuff, but we want to drill the size of the hole where whatever screw that that were supplied by Fiamma.
13/64, so the drill bit I used.
In this case, yes. Yeah. Again, please remember we need to drill the hole at all 3 locations with the marking that we did when the awning was on the adapter. So at the final step, pretty much the final step, we're going to put the awning back on there. Make sure that you're within the groove of the brackets. have somebody hold it on the top, and Tony is gonna start, make sure the holes lines up with the hole that's on the adapter, on the bracket, on the adapter, and he's gonna put that final screw within there. Now you may have to open up the awning a little bit more because there is a you do have to get a hand tool in there. Feel free to do that, but make sure, please make sure, in this case actually the awning actually did pop out from the group, so luckily somebody was up there to hold the awning, but just please make sure that somebody's helping you with this. So when you're doing this yourself, you don't want it to have the awning just hang it by itself and you're on the bottom and trying to put that screw in, because potentially that awning could come out of the groove and fall on you or on your van and therefore cause damage. So this is just the close-up of that last screw that we're talking about. Is right there, is that one single screw that you will have to open up the awning to get access to it.